And welcome back, everybody, to World Team League 2022 Winter Codes Round 2, Day number 3. I'm, of course, your host, Light VIP, and with me is the one, the only, the one with a webcam, AsherBro.
Hello, hello. We have got some exciting StarCraft for you today because we, the CranKy Ducklings, are going to be taking down Maru. You heard it here first.
We're gonna take him down, puppy. Look, I know, we've had some great days of World Team League so far. We've had Raynor coming out, we've had Dar coming out, Cure, the B tier player, apparently. There's been a lot of quality players, but really everyone has been waiting for the Ducks.
Man, everyone has been waiting for the shaft. It is time for Vindicta and the rest of the CranKy Ducklings to show what they've got. But before that, we have another exciting matchup coming up for you. We have SSLT, the Starving Camels, first up. And this is a team that we're quite familiar with. We did actually come up across them towards the end of our Code A run. And Firefly are really showing himself as a star ace player for this team in that set of games that we had.
Yeah, exactly. Firefly was able to take us down, just barely, really showing off how much of an ace player he is. But at the same time, they're going to be going up against a strong team as well, PSISTORM Gaming. You love that Max Pack selfie, by the way. It really brings out his eyes.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have Gerald with a beautiful mustache. Look at the little tick at the end. I don't think that's easy to do. That takes some styling product to get that to sit like that.
That takes some APM, which is not usually had by these Protoss players, but Gerald is a little bit he's a little bit special in that respect, maybe leading to certain results he got recently. As we're getting a bit of a head-to-head here between our two ace players, we were talking about Firefly, and it looks like the WTL admins or producers have decided that Max Pax is the ace for PSISTORM.
Yeah, Max Pax with a very impressive win rate in the PvP there that he can be showing off. Just a very impressive player in general, one that dominates these online cups very regularly. But meanwhile, we do have these matchups here. It will actually be GuMiho going up against a star player in Firefly. And GuMiho, he's a player that has been going from strength to strength recently, finding himself in the top 4 of the GSL and really performing very, very strongly lately.
Oh yeah, I know that we had some strong words when we found out that Cure wasn't an A-tier player, but we're going to have even stronger words if GuMiho isn't at least A-tier as well, because he is insane right now. He is, a lot of people are looking to him to kind of innovate here for the TVX matchup. He does whatever the hell he wants, and he makes it work somehow. I don't know how, he just does it.
Yeah, he's always a fun one to cast, because he does everything not even wrong, he just does everything. Like, there's a few different builds that you can do as Terran, and he just does all of them in the same game.
Yeah, he just,
and it just works.
Why don't you 2-on-1 and 1-1-1 and 3CC Banshee and Mech and Bio all in the same? Just do it all, and then you can just win.
It's just like he's opening Viking, so he's not opening Banshee, and he's like, haha, that's what you think. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's not a BC build. And he's like, no, it is 2-port BC. Yeah, he's a player that plays by his own rules. But meanwhile, a couple other matchups there. We do have TooDming going up against Gerald. Gerald having some very impressive results in the EU DreamHack as of recent memory, and Silky going up against Special as well.
Yeah, that's going to be another interesting matchup. I wonder if Silky did end up looking at that Latin American DreamHack playoffs, because, of course, Special did end up falling to not just one, but a couple of Zerg players in that tournament, both Cham and Eggs. So there's definitely some valuable replays, some valuable VODs to be studying there for Silky.
Yeah, Cham taking a total map score of 6-1 against Special in that upper end of the LATAM tournament. So if Silky has been watching that, he might be able to just play like Cham.
Yeah, just hashtag play like Cham. That's all he has to do, and we will get there. But first, we have our very first series here, the ace player for SSLT, with apparently a great offense, almost non-existent defense.
Yeah, once again, whoever makes these hexagons, they have 0 chill. They're just like, his defense, non-existent, mate. And Honestly, from seeing his PvT, I have to disagree a little. He played a very defensive style of PvT quite consistently against players like Vindicta. Definitely looking to be the one on the back foot, at least at first, and sit back and defend. So, yeah, I'm not sure I totally agree with them, but they're favoring him in terms of offense and micro here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame that when it comes to the micro, and I guess when it comes to the offense after the defense portion, I have to wonder how they differentiate between the two and how exactly they come up with these stats. But we can only guess here as we are at the behest of the power of the WTL admins.
At the whim of the hexagon makers.
Exactly. Oh god. Outside of that, apparently his mindset and strategy is quite good as well. I mean, from what we can tell, when we did play against him during our Code A run, he was a terrifying opponent. It's interesting that they decided to field him first, to be honest, like strategy wise.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if they're maybe looking to snipe out some of the weaker players, trying to guarantee some wins there. But it looks like, they've just sent GuMiho straight out, and yeah, look at that. That is a powerful hexagon there.
That's a powerful hexagon, but what is going on? You know what? I think there's I don't do this often.
Terrans.
I don't do this often, but I agree. I'm gonna side here with the Terrans, mate, because there's some bias going on against these Terran players.
You know what they've done is they've just they've put down every Terran by 1 grade just because they play Terran. So basically, these are A players, but because they're playing Terran, it's a B because it's a disadvantage. It's not really represented on the hex, but if there was like a hexagon like stat for race, like that would be really low for the Terran player. For the Zerg player, they get like a 10 in race.
Well, I mean, my question is, if Maru was an A, does that make him an S?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay, there we go. We'll keep an eye out for our first A Terran player. For the time being, it looks like our players are getting on ready. We can see that, again, GuMiho is dominant here in the hexagon, just covering it all in that beautiful, lush red. And game one, going to be on Waterfall.
You're new to that micro, just poking out a little bit there. I have to disagree with that as well. GuMiho, a lot of his openings rely around having just a few tech units that he utilizes very, very well. He's often one that doesn't overwhelm with force, but one that overwhelms with technicality. So I have to say that his micro is one of his strengths, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. I think looking at these hexes, if we had any kind of power here, I think we would notch down like maybe the macro and the defense a little bit and increase the offense and the micro and the strategy and the mindset, especially the mindset and strategy. Like that, 10 out of 10.
Mate, the mindset is a 10 because GuMiho, he doesn't care. Like, he is immune to pressure. He is immune to all these kind of things because he just does what he wants. And when you're a player that does what they want, that's something that really sets your opponent on the back foot because they're always wondering what you're going to be doing, what crazy stuff you're going to be pulling out. And that gives you a lot of confidence going into these games. But yeah, if GuMiho wants to raise up that hexagon, he's just going to have to prove himself, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He has to prove himself here to World Team League. I think the other thing to bear in mind, I guess, is that GuMiho has been popping off relatively recently, this year, and it's possible that they're kind of taking stats from previous years, maybe when he wasn't as hot, when he wasn't in form. But now it's his chance, his opportunity to kind of extend the hex.
Extend, puppy, extend.
Yeah.
That's right. So coming into Waterfall for the TVP, I'm definitely going to be expecting to see some very aggressive strategies coming out from GuMiho. I know when he plays Moondance, which is one of the other maps that's very short, he's been going for things like tank drops, like ferrying over some very early tanks to go for some pushes at the front. I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like that this time, maybe even a proxy or something. I just think that this map lends itself very well to aggressive play from the Terran. You don't really want to get it, you don't want to let it go on for too long.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to echo what you said yesterday about Dark a little bit here about GuMiho, where he's one of the players that doesn't pull his punches just because he's going up against a player considered to be maybe weaker than him. He's not going to play standard suddenly just because, like, nah, he's still going to whip out his solid GuMiho builds because that's just what he does, it's what he's all about. So I do think that something aggressive is more likely than not what we're going to be seeing.
His solid GuMiho builds. I like that.
Exactly.
We're going to go for the solid bio transition into Blue Flame BC.
Yeah. Standard GuMiho build. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love it. I love
if
it.
this guy goes 3cc before 3cc Banshee, that's when we start to freak out. That's when it's like, oh my god, is it even GuMiho playing?
I mean, if he goes 3cc Banshee, I'm wondering what's coming up next. I'm expecting the speed Banshees. I'm expecting extra starports for BC Banshee full air Terran. Let's go.
Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. I want to see it. I want to sink my teeth into it. As a reminder to everyone, when it comes to the format, this is going to be a best of 2. That's why 2 maps are currently being shown right now. It is going to be loser's pick, so it is not predetermined. So whether it's Firefly or whether it's GuMiho, they will have a little bit of an advantage there when it comes to picking that map. And that's honestly pretty important, especially because we casted yesterday Team GP versus Shopify Rebellion, where Shopify were heavily favored, but like Team GP just came so prepared on their own specific maps.
Yeah, if you didn't manage to catch that one yesterday, that was a very exciting series. Some pretty special performance coming out of Cham, but yeah, there's always that opportunity for a little bit of an upset. I do want to point out as well, GuMiho, now that he's finished with his run in the GSL, it's no holds barred now. It doesn't have to, hide any strategies or anything like that. He can just go for it with this one.
Yeah, exactly. He can unleash all over Firefly, all over his opponents right now, and he doesn't have to pull out. But yeah, we'll see kind of see where this takes us. At the moment, we're just kind of chilling here. Maybe we have some lobby bugs going on.
You're a liability, like.
What do you mean?
You're a liability.
What do you mean?
Get us in the game. Don't let him talk anymore.
What did I say? What happened?
Aye.
What are you talking about?
You're an animal.
Look, my weighted clothing, it's off right now, okay? There's no holding back tonight.
They have freed you.
My brain has been freed.
Freed from its mortal shackle. You've ascended.
I've ascended. I've ascended or I've descended. I'm somewhere. I'm not in my body right now. That's all I know. Okay. I'm at the behest of paracetamol right now. That's what I am.
That's wonderful to know. I'm glad you've told me now that we're like...
Oh no.
Yeah, so meanwhile there is a little bit of a delay. This is of course casted from clean feed, so this could be maybe some of the players having a little bit of trouble getting into the game, something like that. I don't know if they're playing on the Chinese client or on the Korean client. There can be some issues sometimes with the Chinese client, so there might be a little bit of a delay as we get into this one.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too much of an issue though. I mean, we have our first matchup here between these 2 players, and I'm sure, especially at this hour, it's not like we're dealing with North American or even European players. Like I'm sure they're wide awake. We're not having like a Patty Mac situation where
we're not waiting for Patty Mac to wake up so that he can, be the cool guy getting in there like. Aye.
All suave in the, better late than ever. He just walks in. He doesn't even care. He's the kind of guy that comes to a party 2 hours late after half the people are already gone, actually. But he just doesn't care.
He's like, mate, the party starts when I arrive. A good attitude to have for parties. Not a good attitude to have as a StarCraft player.
True.
Or as a professional in any job. Calling out Patty Mac.
Yeah, you hear that, everyone? This is some life advice from Asher.
Yeah, go to work on time.
Go to work. Don't sleep in.
Yeah.
Don't stay up until 5 a.m. watching Clone Wars.
Yeah. This is advice that, don't do as I do. Do as I say.
That's live VIP stream in a nutshell.
Come over to the live VIP stream. He's playing Zerg. He's saying, learn from my mistakes. Play Terran.
Play Terran. Yeah, play Terran. Then you can just move, puppy. Oh god. You don't have to worry about pulling out. You don't have to worry about these 7-minute timing attacks that just kill you horribly. You don't have to worry about cannon rushes. Or maybe you do now, actually.
You do.
Yeah,
we saw Beyond yesterday. He tried not to worry about the cannon rush, but the cannon rush worried about him. I was worried, puppy. I was very worried.
I was smiling. They feel my pain.
You're like, yes, Protoss, heard him.
Retribution, puppy. Let's go. Vindication. We get some more of that later on, by the way.
True. Absolutely. Meanwhile, we've got a subscription coming in. Dricket1 in the chat with the 2-month subscription. Thank you very much, puppy.
Yo, shout out to Dricket in the chat. For those of you who don't remember, Dricket, he was, I believe, the manager of Exxon Gaming back in the day. And then, of course, now I believe the player manager or manager of PSISTORM Gaming as well. So, of course, it makes sense that he would be here cheering for his boys, cheering for his team. Thank you, puppy. Thank you. Always remember those Exxon days back in the day. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Love to have people related to the team, the managers and such, in here cheering them on. Very cool.
Exactly. Oh boy, it's all about that support. It's all about them. Cheers, papi. The great days. Oh god. It's been a wild ride, And speaking of it, going on a wild ride, you too can go on a wild ride yourself on a chair with wheels.
Hey, where the hell are you going with this?
TGI Fridays, everyone.
Oh.
If you don't know what to do on a Friday night, buy a chair.
Oh dear. We've lost Light. I have to announce to everyone, we have lost Light. His sanity, it is gone. It has left the building. Every second that this break goes on, he slowly loses his grip on reality.
Just get me into a goddamn game, puppy. Get me into a game.
Light has been casting StarCraft for so long, so diligently, that he doesn't understand any moment that is not StarCraft. And as the StarCraft leaves the screen, he slowly forgets what is and isn't real. But it's going to be okay. Here we are. And here we are in the bottom left. It is the star player for SSLT, the Starving Camels. It is Firefly.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Waterfall, representing Team PSISTORM Gaming, it is GuMiho.
Are you back with us, Light?
Yeah, I blacked out for a couple of minutes there. I don't know what happens.
That's fine. You didn't miss out on too much.
I just laid back in the chair, closed my eyes, and now here I am. A couple of minutes later. Thankfully, we're in the game.
Mate, you astral traveled.
Oh,
congratulations!
Exactly. And speaking of astral travel, we'll see if we get any of that here from Firefly as he moves out with his pro. But he is a little bit too busy looking for a proxy.
Yeah, being very careful here. Definitely doesn't want to be getting proxy raxed. Looks like he's, actually checking very diligently all throughout these corners for any proxy Reaper or anything like that. So definitely doesn't want to be getting proxied here. Possibly as well, after seeing that, he might opt to go for a Nexus before Core if he's feeling a little bit greedy, depending on his scouting. But no, he's going to play it safe this time. And on the side of GuMiho, we are going to be seeing a double gas opening.
Yeah, we have that 2-gas opening. Unfortunately, we do have denied entry here into the main base, so Firefly is none the wiser. The Deepers are done, and now he's going to be a little bit in the dark. But to be fair, this has become a lot more common recently, right, Asher? Going for the double gas openers in TVP.
Yeah, 100%. This is something that Maru has been doing quite extensively, and as Maru does, all the Terrans we are but his sheep. He is the shepherd, and we do as he does. And so if he decrees that it is time to do the double gas in TVP, we must follow. And even GuMiho, not immune to that. He will be pulling out of gas as well for a faster CC, going for an extra Reaper here as well. So this Reaper going to be his first scouting across the map, and it will find everything looking very ordinary and standard for the Protoss.
Yeah, there's nothing too out of the ordinary here. There's no kind of additional tech paths or anything like that. We don't have a Twilight Council or a Stargate yet. The pylons are all in the main base as well as GuMiho. And it's going to take a couple of shots, but again, at least confirms that there is a natural.
Yeah, that's right. Just checks everything is normal. Meanwhile, for Firefly, good job there just hiding that probe until he needs to send it in just at the right time to confirm that CC on the low ground. So he'll know that he won't be getting all in anytime soon. And he's also throwing down a Twilight Council, so it looks like just going for a pretty standard Blink build most likely.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. We'll keep an eye on that gateway count to see if there's any kind of weird explosion for any kind of 2-base timing or 2-base all-in. For the time being, GuMiho going to be dancing here with his Reapers, getting a couple of shots off here on the Stalker, but doesn't find a way in and doesn't deal any hull damage.
Yeah, just a little bit of poking there, just trying to see what's up, trying to feel out his opponent. But meanwhile, we are seeing him go for something a little bit different. This is a opening that we saw quite a bit of popularity with players like Bunny, often paired with actually a proxy racks, where they go for a very fast 3 racks, actually skipping the starport as well. So this means he'll have a very strong, quick stim time here.
Yeah, I mean, I love this on Waterfall, right? Because it's so short, because it's so small, it doesn't take too long to move out across the map. And because these Reapers and this Cyclone, especially GuMiho, he's going to be looking to try and take control of the middle of the map and make sure that Firefly doesn't spot any kind of move out.
Yeah, absolutely. Firefly playing it very safe, keeping all his units at home, definitely knowing the reputation that GuMiho has as such an aggressive and technical player. Meanwhile, GuMiho just going to be poking into this main here, seeing what damage he can get done, but just playing it safe and keeping map control here while he techs up back at home.
Yeah, exactly. Firefly is stuck in his own bases right now. We do see the Forge coming down as well, so going to commit to +1 Blink Stalkers. We now know for certain that it is going to be for any kind of weird Dark Shrine play or Dark Shrine shenanigans, or even Adepts. That's just not the kind of player that Firefly is. And yeah, as a result, will he be able to figure out what's going on and scout those additional racks?
Yeah, that's right, because it is very important that he does get some kind of scouting across the map at some point here, because this is a very aggressive play coming out of GuMiho. He is delaying his starport by so much, and he's just going to be pumping out these tanks, so he's going to be going for a very fast stim tank push here.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, if you want to chat with your friends on an online app, check out Hojo. As we zoom in on that logo. But here we go, the army is going to be moving out. The other scary thing here for Firefly is that I believe he didn't get a robo due to his opener, due to his build. There we go, robo only just now coming out, which means he doesn't have an observer. He doesn't have any kind of vision out of the map. He never went for a sentry either. He is playing so blind right now.
You need to be getting more money for this free advertising that you're just constantly giving out.
Look, if the guy's gonna zoom in on the sponsors, I may as well say something silly. Okay.
Thank God it is Friday after all. Meanwhile, for GuMiho, he is sieged up over here at this third. Oh, a little bit unfortunate with the timing to unsiege there. Would have done really nicely there. Probably taken out a couple of stalkers, but Firefly now, he has some kind of idea of what's going on, and we'll have to see if we have any big reaction coming out from him, but it does look like he's just macroing along on that third base here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit scared that maybe he thinks that because of the positioning of the army for GuMiho intends to expand and take a third base, just because of where he was. We do see that he is now pushing out, and we do see Firefly engaging with that army, trying to force a siege.
Yeah, GuMiho is going to be keeping his opponent busy here with those Reapers as well, but this is a time for him to move out, and it's really important for Firefly that he tries to cut off the reinforcements. Also, if he can take out a tank with those Blink Stalkers, that would be really nice for him, but GuMiho, he's already in position.
Yeah, he's in position already, shelling away and cutting off Firefly from his third base. At the same time, we have reinforcements coming out across the map. Firefly was looking to try and catch them, but unfortunately, there are just too many reinforcements. We have the Blink on forward, and it looks like he will get 2 tanks. Can he get a third?
Yeah, all 3 tanks going down, but that is a lot of the army of Firefly, and there are more tanks where that came from for GuMiho. This is one of these features of this map being so very, very small, is he can sandwich just with his forces and his reinforce, and he's going to be jumping straight on top of this shield battery overcharge here. That's going down, so many probes going down as well.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he has been able to power his way through in towards that natural base. It looks like he is running out of steam. Again, this is without medevacs, so every single stim hurts these Marines ever more. Finally gets cleaned up, but not before getting 8 workers. Oh.
Yeah, but 8 workers, actually not the biggest deal, but 2 of those stalkers going down as well. That's a bit of a shame for GuMiho. He's just going to stand his ground here and fight. But for Firefly, he is on 3 Nexuses here, so if he can keep dealing with the pressure of GuMiho, he does have that advantage going for him.
Yeah, it's one of these weird scenarios where GuMiho didn't really deal too much economic damage, too much infrastructure damage either, but he did trade very well with the army itself, and I almost want to say maybe that's worth it. GuMiho surprisingly is ahead in that worker count right now. He does have the availability to expand. There it is, 3rd CC is going to be on the way.
Yeah, we have that 3rd CC, we have some extra racks, we have that starport finally going down, as well as some upgrades. But meanwhile, on the side of Firefly, with that Prism coming out, it looks like he's kind of gearing up for an attack of his own, having reset the tank count of GuMiho. Meanwhile, GuMiho just building up his bioforces here in the main, preparing for any kind of attack that might be coming his way.
Yeah, I really worry for him as well. You brought it up. That tank count was reset. I believe we only have one tank in the natural base. I don't think we have one covering the main. We don't have another tank on the way either. So there's going to be a window here for Firefly to deal some damage, to sneak into that main base. At the moment, GuMiho doesn't really have too much of a presence on the map.
Yeah, I have to commend Firefly. That was a very solid hold that he got there. That decisiveness with the Stalkers to jump straight on top of the tanks and take out all three of those tanks has really helped him out going further into this game. And now he's going to be getting a little bit of harassment himself on GuMiho's side of the map.
Yeah, charge is done. The Zealots do get in towards that mineral line. It looks like they won't be dealing too much damage, but, some lost mine time isn't bad whatsoever. He also gets a scout of confirming that we have an armory, confirming that GuMiho does intend to macro from here.
Yeah, that Stalker as well going to be confirming that third base here. So Firefly knowing exactly what is up in this game. He will be throwing down that robotics bay as well. So starting to tech further into maybe some Colossus or Disruptors as well. So finally we find ourselves in a little bit more of an even game. GuMiho with a slight supply lead. More importantly, an SEV lead as well. So he definitely has the lead here, but things are not looking over for Firefly just yet.
Exactly. Firefly is still in this. There's a reason why he is the ace player here for SSLT. And we do see a couple of Zealots coming into the main base, only getting a couple of workers here and there, but whatever he can get done, just keeping GuMiho on the back foot, just trying to keep that worker count in check.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to be seeing a recall on those Zealots as well as he starts to establish his fourth base. So Firefly going to be looking to play this one out a little bit more defensively. Just sit on the back foot, maybe get a little bit of harass over on the side of GuMiho. But meanwhile, let's have a look at what GuMiho is doing to gear up. He's starting his Vikings. He's starting his +2 attack as well. And we do see a scan going down. Might just catch the edge of that second robo.
Yeah, he did indeed confirm the second robot. He knows about that Colossus soon to be disruptor production. That's why the Vikings are already out. Before that happens, though, solid force fields here does get a portion of that army. It looks like Firefly is going to be able to stop GuMiho in his tracks.
Yeah, nice little bit of micro there from GuMiho, just going to be saving those units that are cut off by the force field. So he is going to continue to push forward against this fourth now. And we're seeing a Ghost Academy going down behind this, so he is looking further into the game as well. But this is a formidable push that he has as this fourth finishes up.
Oh, it really is. But you know what? Zealots are coming in from behind for a full surround. I believe the Colossus are on the way as well. Widowmine shot is going to go up, but I believe that's the only Widowmine.
Yeah, that Widowmine going down, and there's a big Zealots around coming in, but this is some nice micro coming out from GuMiho, and he's going to be able to move that force to the left away as well. So he's trading extremely efficiently with this army of Firefly.
Yeah, exactly. That Colossus, I was saying, no, it goes down in that War Prism as well. Aye. And with that, this may just be a little bit too much. The shield battery went down. The overcharge has run out. We have another War Prism, but the pylon gets targeted.
Yeah, the pylon is taken out, so all that remains here is Stalkers, and they will not be able to stand up to the Marauders. This fourth base, it is going down.
Fourth base has been broken. The Colossus count was reset. We do have double Colossi production, but again, they just haven't been here. It was just a little bit too late. And the fourth base did end up falling there behind this. GuMiho taking his own fourth.
Yeah, that's right. Firefly, he's finding himself in a really tough spot now as the +2 of GuMiho is finishing up. Firefly for himself, he does have his +2 on the way as well, but with that fourth only just started up, that is not a great position for the Protoss. You generally want to be roughly one base ahead, or at least half a base ahead of the Terran. You definitely want to be a few workers ahead as well, so he finds himself in a pretty tough position here.
Oh, God, he really does, and he has to try to find a way back into this. Whether it's going for a more War Prism harass or going for some kind of run by, we do see any kind of spotter Zealots are being cleaned up around the map. GuMiho being ever more annoying here, borrowing a couple of Widowmines, even going for another offbeat Widowmine drop.
Yeah, it just has this one little Widowmine here. It's just going to be very annoying with that armory as well. It is going to be invisible once it finishes firing, so it's just another thing for the Protoss to have to deal with. Meanwhile, trying to establish a little bit of map control with his Marauders will be clearing out the way for his fourth base.
Yeah, exactly. Fourth base is going to be on the way. Nice Widowmine shot. It looks like it will be cleaned up here. But again, GuMiho is just buying time for more Vikings, for more of his Ghosts. And unfortunately, because of the Colossi going down earlier, Firefly hasn't been able to start Disruptor production.
Yeah, that's right. And Firefly being only on 2 Colossus, this third Colossus now, this Ghost Viking attack is going to hit like a truck. It's going to be very hard to deal with, especially with the Marauder count as well. If GuMiho can find a nice open area to take this fight, it's going to be so hard for Firefly to deal with.
Yeah, it really will be, but here we go. The first Disruptor is now on the way for Firefly. Can he get it out in time? For the time being, do have a bit of a drop here in the main base. Going to distract Firefly a little bit as the main army is once again pushing in towards that third base.
Yeah, importantly, forcing a warp in as well. So the army will be arriving now. We've got the Ghosts and the Vikings in place. A little bit of a concave here forces the shield battery overcharge as well. So that's going to help him a lot in this fight that's already been expended.
Oh, another EMP on those Colossi. At the same time, the drop moves in from the main base in towards the 4th, instead pulling Firefly apart. The workers are not going down, not yet, but those Colossi are vulnerable.
Yeah, that was a huge EMP, blanking in the entire army of Firefly. We see another one going down now, and these Zealots, they are melting on the front here. But looks like the Colossus actually getting some nice shots on the army of GuMiho.
Yeah, I assumed there were going to be a couple more Vikings there, but I think there were only 3 or 4 Vikings in total. There just wasn't enough DPS there. But here come those reinforcements. The target fire is on point. One Colossus will go down.
Yeah, the reinforcements are here in force. That's a big warp in coming out from Firefly, but that is not going to be in time to get the army off of the Colossus. But nice micro, just pulling back that hurt Colossus. This last Colossus is just going to survive the last Viking and the Disruptor. Now showing itself. Very nice defense from Firefly. He's going to keep that 3rd base alive.
Yeah, once again, showing off some of his skills that he did showcase against Vindicta a while ago. You know, there's a reason why we believe that maybe he should have a little bit more points in that defense as he holds on. He keeps the Colossi alive. More importantly, he didn't really take any economic damage.
Yeah, absolutely. So GuMiho, he is going to be forced to look further into this game. Meanwhile, he absolutely has the map control. These Zealots completely denied from getting out on the map, and he's going to start to pressure over on this 5th base. We do see the Colossus count being reset as well. Takes a lot of the power out of this army for Firefly. GuMiho just going to be looking to cascade over him in this match.
Definitely, but nice target fire there by Firefly. He does end up sniping that Ghost in the end. Unfortunately, he's only going to be working with one of his disruptors. I didn't even notice, but apparently we didn't even have extended thermal lance. But at least we're going to have it for that next engagement. And we'll see how much more powerful that will be here for Firefly now that he finally has that upgrade.
Yeah, I have to wonder how different that fight would have looked if he did have that thermal lance. But meanwhile, GuMiho just splitting his army up a little bit, but Firefly going to be jumping on this right side here. That will give GuMiho the signal that he can go on the left, and we do see that army on that left side headed down already.
Oh yeah, he's going on the left, but he's losing a lot on the right-hand side. The tank will go down. A little bit of miscontrol there by GuMiho, forced to lift up his 5th base, but at the same time as he loses his 5th, he's also diving on top of the 5th of Firefly.
Yeah, diving right on top of that 5th. That 5th of GuMiho, though, that is actually his main floated down. So a little bit of a problem losing that. And he does feel like he has to get some damage right now. He's going to be jumping straight on top of this 3rd base here, taking out a lot of the probes, taking out these stalkers as well. But that is some bruised and battered bio. And meanwhile, on his side of the map, Firefly is starting to make some ground.
Yeah, he's forcing Firefly to commit to this engagement. He knows he's losing too much workers across the map, so he has to return that in kind. We do see the army, though, diving on top of the Colossi. Another one goes down, only 2 left.
Yeah, this is an enormous army from GuMiho, and he is going to be jumping all over the army of Firefly. And with those Colossus going down, with the tech completely reset, there is no way that Firefly can hold on here.
Yeah, exactly. He lost his disruptors, his Colossi, his main army, his 5th base. GuMiho has all the momentum in the world. And on Waterfall, it only takes a couple of seconds to counterattack and push out across the map. Once again, EMPing that base, no overcharge.
No overcharge available, already been used over on that 3rd on the left. We are seeing this disruptor ball coming out. Nice micro from GuMiho, dodging that, only taking 1 Marine and Firefly. He calls GG.
Oh, he does call GG, but that wasn't the easiest game from GuMiho. Like, Firefly was surprisingly resilient in almost every single one of those pushes.
Yeah, definitely. I think GuMiho might have been coming into this series expecting a little bit of an easy 2-0, hoping to just, clean sweep over him, just push him aside with that tank push, but it wasn't to be. Firefly showing that he is a very powerful defensive player and pushing himself further into this game. He really showed some skills there, and he, despite all the disadvantages that he had, managed to hold on and even have a little bit of a push of his own.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very impressive play there by Firefly. You kind of touched on it, and I want to echo that as well. I want to agree with that. What would have happened if he had gotten extended thermal lance on time? How would those fights have gone earlier on? And would he have been able to get into his disruptor production a little bit sooner, a little bit faster, shut down those pushes, and as a result, just have a more terrifying army?
Yeah, 100%. But Firefly, he's going to be feeling pretty confident coming into this one that he made that game so close despite the damage that he took from the initial push. And he was definitely very decisive with a lot of his movements in that game. So I'm feeling that this is going to be a promising second game that we have coming here.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to it because now it is going to be Firefly's map pick. It is his choice. He has been preparing for his opponent for the past week, for over a week even, and oh boy, what does he have in store for everyone? What map is it going to be? Predictions, Asher.
I would normally expect the Protoss to pick maybe a smaller map because they would have something cheeky prepared. But against someone like GuMiho, I think Firefly is going to pick Cosmic Sapphire.
Oh, Cosmic Sapphire, one of the larger maps in the map pool. Definitely kind of a map that you can kind of turtle up and have a little bit of a bonus to your defense, you know, kind of +1 some of those stats as well. Yeah, I like the thought process there. I agree, whether it's Cosmic, whether it's Tropical, you know, one of these maps where he can kind of flex his defense a little bit more. Oh!
It looks like he is going to go for Moondance after all, so we'll have to see if Firefly has something special prepared here. Last time we saw Moondance picked was when Prince picked it against Beyond, and he actually had a Cannon Rush prepared specifically for Moondance. I don't think we're going to be seeing that, but there is a lot of potential for some cheeky proxies on this map.
Yeah, I agree, Asher. I do think he's going to Cannon Rush as well. No, yeah, you can be very cheeky on a map like Moondance. But I feel like it goes both ways as well. I feel like GuMiho likewise can be cheeky as well. So this is a little bit scary. This is terrifying.
Yeah, something that we have been seeing a lot on a map like Moondance is things like we saw in that last game, those tank pushes, but here we are, and down 1-0, choosing the map Moondance, it is SSLT's Firefly.
And in the bottom right-hand corner of Moondance, we have representing PSISTORM Gaming. It is the Red Terran. It is GuMiho.
GuMiBro.
GuMiBro. Oh god, and yeah, we'll see what they have in store for us here. For those wondering, Moondance does have the shortest rush distance in the entire map pool, so you know, early kind of pushes, early rushes do have a little bit more pizzazz available to them. But at the same time, we also have the pocket base.
Yeah, so you do have these opportunities for some very quick pushes to start off with, but it does mean that, especially for the Protoss, you are going to be quite safe to take that third early because there's only one angle you really need to defend. Meanwhile, on the side of GuMiho, we are going to be seeing that 2-gas opener once again, and Firefly also once again being very careful to check for proxies, also walling off at the ramp, at the Reaper jump spot to make sure that there's not going to be any cheeky proxy Reapers causing him too much trouble.
Yeah, Firefly hyper paranoid this series about proxy Reapers, GuMiho potentially having a little bit of a reputation. I can see Dicka in the chat as well, talking about how, like, I hope GuMiho doesn't proxy 2Rex just because, again, maybe it would be a little bit too obvious here. So thankfully, GuMiho doesn't go for that. But unlike the previous game, he opts not to wall off here at the ramp.
Yeah, so just gonna be leaving space for that reactor. Wouldn't be surprised to see that coming down straight after this first Reaper. And this is a map that I have been seeing quite a lot out of GuMiho in terms of some of his wackier strategies. Recently, I saw him doing a single tank drop into Banshee play. Banshee play is something that he's definitely been experimenting a lot with. But Firefly, once again, just gonna be hiding this probe to ensure that he can go back in and scout that natural later on.
Yeah, exactly. Scouting against GuMiho is so important here, especially in this matchup. Firefly is fully aware of that, and that probe is going to be dipping back in, avoiding that first Reaper, and confirming there is a CC on the low ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, we see almost mirrored builds from the players. GuMiho going for that second Reaper as well. Just going to be dipping in, getting a little bit of damage, and scouting with these probes, and not going to be seeing anything too out of place at all.
Yeah, once again, everything is looking quite normal here from our two players, but just because things start normal here at the beginning of the game doesn't mean that things can't diverge and go off the rails, which is personally kind of what I'm hoping for. As Firefly, once again, Twilight Council.
Yeah, and we're seeing some beautiful micro coming out from GuMiho, just dancing back and forth with this Adept, getting those extra Reaper shots on that, and we are seeing him once again going for a Cyclone into an extra rack, so everything looking exactly the same so far.
Exactly. And I mean, we were talking about Waterfall and how that 3-Rex build from GuMiho, it does kind of excel and it can kind of make use of the map on Waterfall. Likewise, everything that we said there also applies to Moondance. So it's possible that GuMiho may be feeling, I didn't really execute it as well. I lost a little bit too many tanks there in my push. I know I can do better. I know that I can tighten things up and do it again.
Yeah, it actually looks like he's going for the exact same build, and I actually like it quite a lot on this map, just because of that narrow choke in front of the natural. These tank pushes can be such a nuisance to deal with, and it's something that we've been seeing a lot out of Terran players. Meanwhile, that was a beautiful bait there, getting the Stalker out of position for the Cyclone to take it out. Very nicely done by GuMiho, and he's going to be able to put a lot of damage on this pylon here if he chooses to, but he's actually just going to trade with the Stalkers for now.
Yeah, it's something that he tried to commit to in the previous game, but he wasn't able to. But here, he's just done such a great job at baiting. Meanwhile, here we go. He goes for the scan just to target down this pylon, just to delay Blink.
That is wild going for the scan, but it is such a high value pylon here. He's going to be able to dip back in there and finish it off. And that depowers the gateway and the Blink. This is huge for GuMiho. This Blink is so important for the defense of Firefly, and I don't know if it's going to be ready now in time for the push.
Yeah, it's going to be so close because here we go. The push is already on the way. Stim still on the horizon, by the way. GuMiho is going to be pushing a little bit earlier compared to the previous game, but I think it's because he smells a little bit of a timing here, a little bit blood in the water because of the lack of Blink.
Yeah, absolutely. And meanwhile, for Firefly, we do see he has his gateways set up on the front, so they will be able to buy him a little bit of time once this tank push does come in. But GuMiho, he's taking his time, he's setting up in the middle of the map, just getting a bit of that map presence. Nice shade coming out from the Adept, though.
Yeah, the shade does come in, but it looks like the target fire is going to be good enough. One tank will go down here. Very nice kind of surround setup by Firefly.
Yeah, he does take out one of the tanks, but you can see the damage that delaying that Blink has done. He would have had Blink ready for that moment, and he would have been able to save a lot of those Stalkers that he lost. Meanwhile, a little bit of miscontrol there. Does just move command into the fog there, while the tank of GuMiho still set up and waiting.
Yeah, maybe not anticipating a second tank being set up there where the first one was. Meanwhile, we do see him rotate around. He's going to try and catch some of these reinforcements. It looks like he will get on top of the Cyclone.
Yeah, catches out the Cyclone, catches out a few of these Marines as well. If he can take out a tank here, that'll be huge for him.
Yeah, even target firing both of the mules as well, or at least one of the mules. At the same time, GuMiho is pushing out across the map. He doesn't care about his workers back at home. He wants to commit. He wants to break the natural.
Yeah, GuMiho just going to send it. He realizes if those Stalkers are on his side of the map, they are not at home, and that means he can just go for it here. He's going to be taking out that first pylon. Luckily, Firefly, anticipating this move, does have a second pylon on the way, but this will be pushing him to go for this. Nice Blink coming in, going to take out both tanks again, but GuMiho is just jumping straight on top of these Stalkers. The shield battery overcharge, though, it is good, and it's going to hold back these Marines.
Yeah, exactly. Firefly being so conservative, waiting for the opportune moment for that overcharge, uses it once he forces GuMiho to counterattack, and once again, Firefly has a great hold. Ooh, speaking a little bit too soon. Okay, takes a little bit of damage there on those Stalkers, but he did take out the brunt of that army, and Firefly was able to take a third behind it.
Yeah, just contrasting this to the last game. Firefly losing 8 probes in that game. GuMiho actually losing 10 SEVs this time, and we can see that Firefly in a much more comfortable position in terms of the economy is going to be quite far ahead and actually finds himself, I would argue, in a lead in this game.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's ahead of the workers. He's ahead of the bases right now. He is working on charge, and there is that gateway explosion. I wouldn't be surprised if he also recognizes a bit of a window here where he can push out across the map, especially because that tank count was reset.
Yeah, 100% with the armor coming down for the Zealots as well. That's really going to help them against these Marines. But meanwhile, GuMiho, he needs to get a little bit of damage done himself. And Firefly, he doesn't have too much map vision out, so he's not going to be able to see this until it's almost at his front door. This Stalker, nicely positioned here, is going to be able to blink out and save itself. So GuMiho pushing through here, actually pulling the boys. I love this decision.
Oh my god, GuMiho or Quanta, mate. Honmono, let's go! As the boys are here across them. Unfortunately, GuMiho is forced to siege up a little bit prematurely. Nice force fields here on the ramp.
Yeah, beautiful force fields there coming out from Firefly, but he is very low on energy of these sentries and actually going to be taking out both of them. He's panicking a little bit with this push coming in. Beautiful micro there, picking up the tank, dodging the Stalker shots.
Yeah, exactly. This time all 3 tanks do survive. 1 medevac apparently is all you need to keep them alive. Looks like Firefly has been cut off from his natural. He blinks on forward and he will get 1 tank, maybe a second.
Yeah, takes out 2 of those tanks, but he's going to be losing almost all of these Stalkers. The shield battery overcharge already committed at the natural, so he's not going to have it available at the third here, and that is quite a big deal. You can see the positioning of GuMiho just setting up between these bases makes for some very difficult decisions for the Protoss.
Oh god, exactly. And here we go. He just unsieges and moves on forward. He only has a single tank here, but there are so many Marines. They have so much DPS, especially with that stim, with that combat shield. Another blink on forward. Another tank goes down.
Yeah, another tank going down, but that was a critical pylon. Even building a bunker on top of it here, so this will never be able to be repowered. Both those batteries going down. The +1 is never going to finish here, and he's jumping straight on top of these probes.
Yeah, he really is. Probes are going down at the same time. It looks like, again, GuMiho, if he wasn't all in before, he's still Giga all in. He has to end the game with what he has, but we have a couple more warpings coming in from Firefly.
Yeah, and these medevacs, they are running out of energy. There's not much energy left to heal these terribly bruised bio units. GuMiho, he's really going to have to micro his heart out, try to get on top of these probes, try to get a little bit more damage here. But meanwhile, the Stalker's just dancing back and forth, trying to see whatever they can do just to slow down this attack of GuMiho.
Yeah, exactly. I would love if the boys were pulled right now. I don't know if he even needs it, but he can afford to lose plenty of workers. We're coming down to only 3 Marines, 2, 1. Every Marine goes down.
And look at the supply. Firefly absolutely dwarfing GuMiho, almost doubling him in supply. He's going to be able to repower this forge, get that +1 armor upgrade. And these have been some very nice trades for Firefly. Actually doing such a great job of preserving his probe count. And he just dwarfs the economy of GuMiho. GuMiho, he was so all in with that push. And now, where does he go from here?
Where can he go from here? Maybe trying to go for some drop some way to try and deter and keep Firefly back at home. There we go. A drop is going to be moving out at the same time. In come those stalkers, and he comes across the drop.
Wow, he finds that drop straight away, and he's going to be taking that out. GuMiho, he doesn't want to see how that one ends. GG is called, and Firefly tying things up.
Oh my god, talk about stoic webcams, mate, as no fear. GG gets called. Firefly takes a game off of GuMiho, tying it up 1-1. And this is what we were talking about, especially when it came to yesterday, Team GP's series, where these players, despite the fact that there is a bit of a skill disparity, despite the fact that they aren't favorites, they can come in prepared and they can study their opponents even.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this best of 2, all it takes is that one game. Often we see in best of 3s, like the weaker player can be taking a map off. But if you take a map off in this best of 2, you've completely tied things up. And Firefly, he showed his prowess with the defense. I think we can give him another point after that one. Come on, guys.
Right? Come on, WTL. Give him some more defense points because he clearly showed that in both games. Even the game that he lost, it was insane how resilient, how defensive he was, how much of a wall and a threat he posed, or how much of a formidable opponent he posed to GuMiho. Very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. But things are far from over for both teams, as here we have the next player coming up for the SSLT, the Starving Camels. It is going to be TooDming, and they are favoring his offense here.
Oh, TooDming. We do have the Zerg coming out. The Zerg's finally coming out for SSLT. And TooDming is one of those players who is very storied. He is has been around for a very, very long time. Will his experience be able to overcome what his opponent has here in Gerald with his mustache?
Yeah, we do see that 8 in defense, the 8 in mindset, obviously due to that powerful mustache. You know, how can you shake a man that has such, you know, beautifully shaped facial hair?
Oh yeah, it's
unfathomable.
Wait, what?
It's a word.
What? What'd you just say?
He's unfathomable. You can't faff him.
Do I want to know what that means?
Cannot be faffed.
That's not how you explain what a word is.
Now you got me double guessing myself. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh no.
Oh, it's absolutely not a real word. Anyway.
Oh my god. I thought I was the one that was sick, Poppy, but apparently Asher's off his meds. What's going on?
It cannot be faffed. I'm going with it, but we do see that little offense spike poking out for TooDming. Maybe that's going to be his road to victory here if he can get a little bit of a cheeky all-in going. But we do see Tropical Sacrifice going to be the first map, a little bit of a larger map.
Oh, yeah, much larger map here. Could be seeing a longer macro-oriented game. For the past 2 games, it has kind of been a little bit more 2-base oriented, with players struggling and trying to get more additional bases as the game goes on. So yeah, we're going to get some very different StarCraft here. Also, I want to address the chat, and I agree. I feel like old mate Gerald from Rivia, Superman himself, should be higher than a C.
Yeah, definitely, especially with his recent performances. So if you guys haven't seen it yet in the EU DreamHack, I am going to spoil it a bit for you. Gerald actually taking down Serral 2-0. And I looked it up. Serral had lost one map in the last 2 EU regional group stages. So not only was Gerald one of the first maps that Serral has lost in a long time in that stage, he actually took him out. So that is no joke.
Yeah, that is terrifying. So Gerald's literally taking down the best Zerg player in the world only a couple of days ago. So TooDming, he's got some big shoes to fill. He's got some fuffing to do. What'd you say?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He's just gotta be, better than Serral.
Yeah. Don't play like Serral. Play better than Serral. That's all you gotta do.
Just play like TooDming, mate. Show him how it's done.
Show him how it's done, puppy. Aye. Well, again, I imagine that, that is also a very well televised series, and 100% TooDming did tune in. He would have been crazy not to. Of course, if you do want to tune into some of these games, and if you are from the Chinese region, check out Douyu. As they are sponsor and a streaming platform for WTL.
They sure are.
Okay, getting ready for AIDS and Champs, okay?
Shout out to Dare Eyes Coffee.
Shout out to Dare Eyes Coffee, keeping me alive as I try to stay awake and cast this series.
But yeah, meanwhile, we are going to be heading into this one on Tropical Sacrifice. So, there is a few cheeky things that Protoss can do specifically on this map. It is a map that I've been seeing a lot of proxy Stargate on. I don't know if we're going to be seeing that in ZVP necessarily, but there's a lot of dead airspace where you can maneuver around those oracles. A lot of cheeky stuff you can get away with. What is the most annoying thing you've been facing on ladder against Protosses?
Wait, I can only pick one? Is that what you're...
Only one.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was kind of showcased a little bit during PAX, I feel, where you mentioned it yourself, I believe, before the broadcast started, where you have the hero style, but there are a lot of Protoss players that are kind of masking the hero style for what it really truly is, something more devious, something more disgusting, something more charge lot related.
Oh, I see. Well, here we are spawning up in the top right-hand corner of the map for the Starving Camels. It is TooDming.
And in the bottom left-hand corner, representing PSISTORM Gaming, it is the Polish Protoss player himself. He is red. He is Gerald.
All right, so we're not going to be seeing any 12-4, nothing cheeky like that, but Gerald going for a nice early probe. Going to be looking to block that hatchery of TooDming, so... here we go.
Oh, exactly. And I was a little bit concerned here. Our lovely production team, Kuro, was letting us know that apparently Gerald had shaved for DreamHack. And I was a little bit worried how much. Oh, but look at, he's fixing up his mustache. Oh, he's fixing up his stash. Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh, it takes a couple of days to grow.
We do see him in that magnificent bat cave of his, well known for his giant attic that he lives in. It looks so cool, man. Like, I love that.
It's right. Like, it's so like man cavey, so comfy, right? So homely, if you will.
He's looking unfathomable in that man cave of his.
Can you? What does that mean? When you say that, Asher? What does that mean? We can make up our own word. What's it?
He just cannot be disturbed. Cannot be
Rippled.
Offset, rippled.
Yeah. He can't be
faffed,
if you will.
Yeah. Don't even try.
Yeah, don't even try. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work, mate. It's not even. As we do see the openers here looking relatively standard. Forces the unnatural natural out of TooDming, hatch gas pool, no early gases, nothing too crazy. We're just really, I would say, more than anything, having a look at what Gerald is going to be throwing down here as his tech of choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Things looking very standard from TooDming. Wouldn't be too surprised to see the Stargate going down for Gerald pretty quickly after that core finishes up. We are seeing that Adept being croned out, so that will, I think, being sent straight across the map. He's getting a lot of extra scouting over here as well with that probe, so nicely done there. And there is that Stargate.
Yeah, kind of what we would expect to see here from a standard ZVP. Going to be going for that Stargate. We imagine it's going to be for a couple of oracles as well. Whether he goes for 2 or triple oracle, we have yet to see how much he wants to commit to that. And we'll see how TooDming wants to respond here. There are a lot of players that have been playing a lot with +1 melee as a response to that Blinkstalker style.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be too surprised to see that. Meanwhile, we do see this first adept coming in. It's going to be looking to abuse this natural positioning a little bit, but good defense from TooDming. Not going to be taking any damage from that just yet.
Yeah, exactly. So far, just warding that away. And, oh, we actually do have a divergence here. I was talking about double oracle. I was talking about triple oracle. What about no oracle?
Yeah, we're going to be seeing that Void Ray coming out. And this Void Ray, this is the bane of Zerg players because there are so many things you can do from here and you can make them all look very similar to each other once you deny that scouting with the Overlord. This can lead into some charge lot all-ins. It can lead to some pretty standard play. It can even lead to that dreaded double Stargate Void Ray player.
Oh yeah, it can go into Sky Toss, Papi, and Tropical Sacrifice is not a bad map to go Sky Toss on, so I'm a little bit concerned here. The Void Ray is going to be looking to clean up those Overlords. At the same time, we have an Oracle behind this. Oh, it looks like one Adept will barely go down.
Yeah, just one Adept going to be going down. We got some good scouting from that Adept. This Void Ray just going to be cleaning out this Overlord as well, putting TooDming in the dark while those Oracles are being chronoed out, and the Twilight Council as well.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, great scout there from that Overlord, and shout out to the Observer as well, pointing out that TooDming does spot that Oracle in production, so he knows that he has to prepare here for his mineral line to be a little bit disturbed, a little bit faffed, if you will, as the Oracle is on the way. Oh god, but that Twilight Council could mean a couple of different things here, as the Oracle takes a lot of hull damage.
Yeah, great defense from TooDming there. Completely prepared for the Oracle. A little bit unusual, I think. The EU meta often skip that boar there at the natural, so it looks like Gerald wasn't quite prepared for that, but this Void Ray just going to be hunting around the map for any map vision that it can clean up.
Yeah, already 2 Overlords going down. Is looking for a third as Gerald is transitioning into Glaive Adepts here. There was no Forge. Forges typically signify a transition into Blinkstalkers or Charge. Without that, it looks like it is going to be those Glaives instead, and TooDming is a little bit in the dark. He's going to have to rely on Lings or rely on an Overseer Scout once his lair finishes.
Yeah, this is a fascinating timing on this Glaives. It's very much later than you would normally see with this, and he really hasn't made that many Adepts, so this is a very well hidden build that's coming out from Gerald here.
Yeah, exactly. It's designed to catch your opponent off guard, to catch them droning. But TooDming, he is at least making a couple of safety Roach Warrens. He knows he's in the dark. He knows that the Void Ray has been able to deny a lot of vision, and there we go. He does finally spot those Adepts.
Yeah, that's right. And the Adepts are moving out here, so this is the first that he's going to be seeing of that. The Glaives just finishing up there. So these 10 Adepts, they are going to pack a punch, especially against the Zerglings of TooDming.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as he saw those Adepts, we had 16 Lings on the way. They will help zone away this army. It looks like for the time being, it looks like he's going to be able to push this back. At the same time, Oracle does zip in towards the natural base, but great reaction time there. Only stasis as 1 drone.
Yeah, very nice defense so far by TooDming. Meanwhile, we are going to be seeing a few of those drones coming down. The Oracle just poking around in the main at the same time, so we're going to be dragging these queens out of position as Gerald, but doesn't commit to the shade there.
Doesn't get into the shade, and we do have a station trap going off in the main base. Gets so many of these workers. 8+ drones do get trapped there. At the same time, 4 more workers go down here at the third base. The Adepts, they are back behind this. We do have a transition, by the way. We're not warping in wave after wave of Adepts. We are getting into those Blinkstalkers. Yeah,
very tricky play coming out from Gerald here. He's drawn quite a lot of a commitment out of TooDming. TooDming stopping here at 48 drones. Meanwhile, Gerald back at home, just going to be probing up. Doesn't actually have a shield battery here at this base, though. It's not one that's finished anyway, so he's going to have to recall some of his units to help defend this.
There we go. Forces the recall, but he doesn't recall those Adepts. I'm sure that TooDming was hoping that that would happen. GG gets called, and Gerald takes the first game.
Yeah, that was a massacre there. 27 drones going down, and what a wonderful game coming out from Gerald, just taking this way and that way, never forcing himself too all in, but actually being able to use his tools so efficiently that he was able to get the win with them in the end anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, TooDming was hoping to apply some pressure across the map and force Gerald to turn around, but no, Gerald instead committed, went all the way into the main base, and there just wasn't enough there to defend. TooDming just losing his entire economy.
Yeah, and gotta give props to Gerald as well. I really like that build that was coming out from him. He already had that +1 and that blink on the way. He was transitioning into a more standard macro game, which would have been very hard for TooDming to deal with, considering that he stopped so aggressively on drones, but things are not over for him. He does get the second map pick and very quickly choosing Data C.
Oh, there we go. No faffing about whatsoever. He does confirm his map of choice. It is going to be Data Under the Sea. Another one of these larger maps, another more macro-oriented map.
Yeah, so TooDming, it does look like in these games, he's pretty happy to be the defensive player. He's the one that wants to sit back, just kind of macro up, get into a later game where he can show his domination of the map. And Data C, that is a map that does lend itself a little bit more to that kind of player.
Yeah, it really does. So maybe he's going to have a little bit more success here as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea. We have, representing SSLT, TooDming.
And spawning here in the top right-hand corner of the map, representing PSISTORM, it is Gerald.
Oh boy, Gerald, as you were saying, with a very strong build in game number 1, keeping TooDming in the dark until his push was halfway across the map. And even when that did happen, he just wasn't necessarily set up for it. He didn't really have a lot of gases. He had very minimal roaches to defend. I think he had like 5 or so roaches. He was relying so much on lings instead, just because of his gas income. And yeah, just completely caught off guard.
Yeah, meanwhile, we see Gerald going for a little bit of a later scout here, so he will allow TooDming to take the natural, just getting a little bit of harass done on this mineral line as well. But everything, you know, looking pretty standard, pretty normal.
Yeah. Shout out to Gerald, by the way. He's gracious enough to allow this lowly Zerg player to actually expand and take his natural. It's something that doesn't happen often and only does happen when the Protoss allows it.
Yeah, it's very rare to see kindness coming out from a Protoss. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Exactly. You know, maybe he's an ally. You know, maybe he's on our side. Oh god. As other than that, we at least have TooDming going to be able to get into a much more standard opener. Also, bearing in mind that because of the unnatural in game number 1, there wasn't really too much creep spread connecting the bases, and it made it that much more difficult to defend and keep up with all these shades bouncing between the third, the natural, and the main.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, we just see Gerald very effectively denying that mineral patch there, so that will just eat in a little bit to the build of TooDming. But back at home, everything looking pretty standard. I have to wonder here, maybe is he going to go for another Void Ray opening and do something a little bit different? I would like to see him mixing it up a little bit with an opening that looks the same up until that Void Ray point, maybe even going for that dreaded charge let all in.
Yeah, you were talking about it in that previous game where off of a Void Ray, there's just so much you can do. The world is your oyster. You can do anything, papi, for free.
For free.
For free. So, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad choice here to go for a Void Ray, especially because, again, it is a best of 2. So, yeah, you do want to be a little bit careful here, and you do want to keep your opponent guessing, as once again, if you're in the chat, and if you want to check out some Warcraft 3 servers, NetEase, that's where you want to be.
I feel like NetEase definitely do other things.
And what do they do? What do they do, Asher? What do they do?
They do communication. Looks like they operate online PC and mobile games. There you go. You know what? Warcraft 3 probably is their biggest product. But anyway, we do have a game on our hands. TooDming throwing down that third is going to be starting up a few extra lings just to be safe from any aggression from Gerald. Gerald, meanwhile, playing things pretty standard, just going to get a bit of harass going with the Adepts, and we are going to be seeing an Oracle first this time.
Oh, yes, and mixing things up a little bit here, keeping TooDming on his toes. We'll just see both Adepts shade into the main base, looking to try and find a way in, looking to try and find a couple of workers, catching TooDming unawares, or even cancels the shade, but forced to recall.
Yeah, forced to recall this time won't be losing one of those at death, just a little bit of hull damage on those. Meanwhile, I see this probe possibly misrallied or just checking to make sure that that third is in fact being taken. He is happy to throw down his own third this time as well, so I think that was a deliberate scout. Meanwhile, we've got a few links from TooDming, just going to poke, just going to prod, be a bit annoying here, but not going to get too much done.
Exactly. Gerald, he was anticipating these lings. That's why the Oracle stayed back at home at this third base. It is kind of how the meta has evolved. You typically don't move out across the map until you have 2 Oracles, just so you can get this early third up and running as Protoss.
Ooh.
So, yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're actually seeing 2 Forges going down, so this is something that we actually saw Raynor doing quite a bit, funnily enough, going for the very fast double upgrades and looking to take advantage in the macro game much later on, almost playing like the Zerg, where you just want to power up, get to your very high probe count, and then overwhelm.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. We're going to be able to hit a very strong 1-1 and even 2-2 timing if the game goes on that long. Meanwhile, we don't have a third spore here at that base, and 5 workers are going to go down. Oh my god.
Yeah, some beautiful control coming out from Gerald, just splitting off that weakened Oracle and even taking out some of those drones that were trying to be hidden underneath the Queen. So we'll be getting 6 drones already for his troubles, and that puts him in a very nice spot going into this mid game.
Yeah, it really does. And again, unfortunately, TooDming just hasn't been able to go into the main base and get confirmation on these two forges. If he did, he could be a little bit more greedy himself as well. Maybe take another base, maybe drone up a little bit more, recognizing that we're not going to be seeing any kind of gateway explosion and hyper aggression coming out from Gerald. For the time being, he's a little bit in the dark, so going to be investing a little bit more in that army.
Yeah, did see a little bit of a shake of the head from Gerald. Not sure if he maybe lost one of his oracles there. But meanwhile, we are just going to be seeing both players just powering up, just going into a little bit more of a standard game. Gerald is going to be poking this way and that, keeping an eye on the Zerg, making sure nothing cheeky's going on, getting that 4th base as well, not powering up on a whole lot of roaches, anything like that.
Yeah, is going to get confirmation on the 4th base, is going to be able to shade in towards the natural as well to get an eye on that gas count. So he will see that everything is looking quite normal here from the Zerg player. It is going to cost him the life of these Adepts, but I mean, the Adepts, they did kind of run out of their usefulness here in the mid game.
Yeah, for sure. The Adepts have done their job here. Meanwhile, we see a lot of gateways going down. We see the Templar Archives going down as well. So it does look like Gerald maybe going to be looking down more for a Charge Lot Archon 2-2 timing.
Oh, this is going to be a very strong timing here as he gets a 4th base behind this. What I'm worried about is, again, that because TooDming has been playing a little bit in the dark, he just hasn't really been able to drone up much at all. He does have a 4th base, but his worker count is still down at 65. I'm curious if he even intends to make any more workers, or if he's content with 65, 66 and just make nothing but roaches.
Yeah, interesting. He definitely does have a little bit of a timing here as Gerald powers up on all of these gateways and gets this 4th going, where if he does want to just stop making drones here altogether, he can go for a very sharp all-in, and we do see him as well. He is going for that +1 missile attack rather than the normal +1 melee that we've been seeing a lot against this style.
Yeah, this is very committed here. He's already working on these rocks. This is spotted by Gerald, and this is already going to be a little bit of a tell. If he does get across the map and does get eyes on the 4th base, he's going to recognize how naked and barren it is, and then alarms are going to be flaring here. There is a Nidus actually behind this.
Ooh, very interesting build coming out from TooDming. Very aggressive. If he can catch Gerald going for a bit more of a tempo play across the map like this, that can be very nice for him. And Gerald, it's going to be very important that he notices that there aren't any drones here on the 4th.
Oh, yeah, I hope that he did, as he did dip on in, and he did get a little bit of eyes on the mineral line, I think, but I don't know if he saw enough because he's still making workers. He's at least prioritizing his warpins and getting another wave of these stalkers, but I do worry that maybe he's going to be a little bit too greedy.
Yeah, just get up to 84 probes. I think this is where he's going to be looking roughly to stop. This is something we were talking about before, this style with the double upgrades. You really do want to go very high on the probe count. And you're looking for more of a tempo game where you're just trading with the army and using your economy to eventually overwhelm. But TooDming, he's not going to let it get there.
Exactly. TooDming is about to max out, by the way, on pure roaches. He's coming on in. Would you see Gerald's forced to engage here without the safety of his shield batteries?
Yeah, and he's going to get sandwiched by these roaches. He's getting completely caught out. He has no shield batteries. He's got no immortals either. Ooh. Both of those Archons going down right away. These Oracles here. They're going to be putting on quite a bit of damage, but TooDming's going to be able to reinforce so fast with this Nidus, and Gerald, he's in a world of trouble.
Yeah, he really is. Another gateway going to be going down here. Thankfully, because of the defender's advantage, because of this high ground, Gerald is going to be able to hold on to his third base, but he does prematurely pop his overcharge. He would not have this for the follow-up push.
Yeah, and here come the Queens, here come the Ravagers. That is a lot of Ravagers that just morphed in, and TooDming, he's absolutely going for the throat here. He does not want this game to go on. He wants to end it right now, right here.
Yeah, it's going to end one way or another. We have the Oracles diving in as well just to add whatever DPS they can. The Blinks are going to be pretty good behind this. Storm is still on the way. Even if it does finish, he does have a couple of high tempo behind this. I don't know how useful Storm is really going to be on a Roach Ravager army.
Yeah, really, Gerald just wants to buy as much time as he can here with that Blink Stalker Micro especially. Just wants to slow down this push as much as he can, but TooDming, he's getting right on in there, jumping right on top of these batteries and cannons.
Yeah, but he's taking a lot of shots here from those cannons. The Blinks are honestly looking pretty good here from Gerald. He is going to be able to force this back.
Yeah, I gotta say, with those double upgrades that Gerald has, I don't know if that 2-2 has kicked in already, but he is trading wonderfully with these Roaches.
He really has been a little bit of a mistake from TooDming because he has all these queens, but they weren't there to transfuse. They weren't there to spread any of that creep. The support value that they have just wasn't made use of in that push.
Yeah, this is some really nice micro coming out from Gerald, just dancing back and forth with these Roaches, and oh my goodness, look at all the damage he's doing to them.
Exactly, so many Roaches go down. Gerald holds onto his third, he holds onto his fourth. We have more reinforcements, and TooDming is still up in supply, but barely. And again, this supply is inflated.
Yeah, it does look like he did have 2-2 finished up for that fight, and you can see how much damage that 2-2 is doing to these Roaches. These are super-powered Stalkers.
Yeah, the Super Stalkers are here. We have Storm as well behind this. Now the Queens are coming into play. They're getting a couple of transfuses off here and there, but it looks like the momentum is gone. The timing, the window has closed for TooDming.
Yeah, I love the way that Gerald is dancing back and forth on both sides here, controlling two armies left and right. Big storms going down there as well, and Gerald, he's going to be jumping right on top of this army.
Yeah, he really is. A couple of storms do blanket the army as well. The Nidus is going to go down. 0 Nidus is remaining here. Looks like TooDming is going to try and get another one up and running towards the northern side, but the army is going to fall, and TooDming just doesn't have enough army remaining.
Wow, what an incredible defense coming out from Gerald. He really did look like he was in a lot of trouble, but he just bought himself so much time with that Blinkstalker micro, traded so well with those Roaches, and TooDming, he is in a really rough spot now.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of an anti-timing there from TooDming. Again, he didn't have eyes on the double forges, so he didn't know that there was going to be this massive upgrade disparity that he was going to be fighting against. He was in the dark. He was just doing his own build, and arguably, you know, a little bit mistimed there because of his lack of information. He still has a couple of Roaches, and there is a possibility, especially with Nidus, to try and pull apart Gerald to try and get some economic damage, but it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, interestingly, looking at the upgrades now, he actually didn't have Carapace at all for that fight, so it was +2 attack Stalkers against 0 Carapace Roaches. I was wondering why they were chunking through them so very fast, and I wonder if that was a little bit of a mistake that he didn't have that +1 armor there.
Yeah, I have to wonder. I mean, I'm pretty sure the goal of that push was to hit with +2 and only attack. It was all in, of course. But again, at the same time, he was unable to adapt on the fly, unable to recognize what he was playing against. As Gerald, he's even expanding, taking a 5th base. Despite all this creep being here, he doesn't care. He just throws down the Nexus.
Yeah, Gerald, he is on 90 probes here, and with those Roaches going down, GG will be called.
Wow, GG, well played. Gerald, with his fabulous mustache, takes the game and the series.
Yeah, we see a bit of a smile, bit of a nervous chuckle there. He knows he was in a little bit of trouble there when that Roach attack hit, but he showed why he has that powerful stat of defense there. He showed why he's been doing so well in the matchup and gets the 2-0. So he puts himself and PSISTORM in a position where Special just has to win one game here to get them the win in this set.
Yeah, one game. Uno mas is all that Special needs right now, and that is definitely possible here. Special, he is typically very adept at the TVZ matchup, but we have to question that a little bit recently. In recent times, he's been struggling a little bit in his own region.
Yeah, absolutely. That is something that's a little bit uncharacteristic. I do believe it was, if I'm not wrong, the first time he hasn't been the one that wins that LATAM qualifier.
Yeah. In many years, maybe I don't want to say ever, because I think in Wings of Liberty there were other Latin American champions, but it's been so long since Special hasn't been the LATAM champion. So yeah, a little bit shocking, a very shocking result here. but that doesn't make him a bad player. You know, he's still amazing at what he does, and he's still going to be a titan to take down here for Silky.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're dethroned like that, it can cause two reactions. It can make you a bit sad, or there are certain players with these champion mindsets where that just lights a fire under them. That makes them realize that maybe they've been resting on their laurels a little bit too much, and they just come back with a fervor, with a passion for practice, where they want to retake that spot with everything that they have. So maybe we're going to be seeing a special with a fire lit under him here.
I hope we do get some fire under that Juanito, under that Dorito. But before we get to special, we do have Silky here, one of the best Zerg players in all of China. Going to be representing his team. And up!
He had some powerful offense there. Offense and strategy.
Powerful.
But meanwhile, for special, nicely well-rounded here. I would argue maybe his strongest suit is his strategy. He's a similar player to GuMiho in that he goes for very offbeat builds, but being such a student of TY, one of the most famous strategic Terrans of ever, really, that is something that is definitely a strength of his.
100%, mate. That strategy should be a little bit higher. IMO, it is what he is known for. It's what his reputation does rely on, and maybe even micro as well. You could argue that those two maybe sometimes come hand in hand for special. And because of that, he can be a little bit tricksy. You know, he's not known just to play standard in a little bit of a different way to GuMiho, but also very fitting that they're both on the same team.
Yeah, for sure. And that is something where maybe they trade a little bit of their strategies back and forth. But meanwhile, we are seeing these two players size up against each other. Both of them strong in the offense and strategy. So I don't know if this is going to be a bit of a back and forth series. Maybe we see some crazy all-ins from Silky, see some cheeky battle cruisers builds coming out from special. Either way, it's going to be all action. And our first map here is going to be Stargazers.
Oh, it is going to be Stargazers, a very interesting map, a very unorthodox map that we don't typically get on, but of course it is forced here in WTL as they do pick the starting maps for our players. But before we get into the map, is that a duck on Silky's chest? What is that? What is that?
I don't know. It looks like a duck wearing a towel.
Oh, like he just got out of the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a filthy Zerg player, okay, Asher? He's clean. He's clean, Poppy. He just got washed out. Whoa! Asher, calm down, Poppy. Oh my god.
Coming out, guns blazing here. He's washed, mate. He's clean.
Yo, if you want exclamation mark Funada AsherBro, then hop onto Hojo, find the thread for WTL, and add him.
Do they have Funara on there? Yeah, meanwhile, we do have the player in the top left. It is for the Starving Camels, Silky.
And the top right hand corner of Stargazers, we have representing PSISTORM Gaming. It is Juanito. It is special.
Yeah, spam those Doritos if you want to support Juanito in the chat there. Meanwhile, from Silky, we are seeing just a very standard build coming out. This is a map where there's a lot of potential for the Terran to go for some more cheeky plays with that back base, though.
Definitely, we have seen proxy starports, we've seen some drop play, we've seen some just other kinds of proxies as well, or even just a faster natural or safer natural in third base. So there's a lot that really comes into this map. There's a reason why a lot of players do veto this, because it is one of the more unusual maps in the map pool. But that's also why I love WTL, you know, we do get to enjoy maps like this a little bit more.
Yeah, WTL, where we see a little bit of unusual matchups. We see some unusual maps as well. But this map, not the craziest map for TVZ either. We have been seeing a few of those. There's a few features that make the map good for both teams. The Zerg does have a little bit more of an open area through the middle, does have that goal base later on if it does go to a split map situation. The Terran, of course, gets a very safe third base and also can split the map quite nicely despite not being able to take that goal base necessarily.
Exactly. So many possibilities here from our two players, but for the time being, we do see Silky just opening up Hatch Gas Pool, a pretty standard opener so far. We're not going to be seeing any kind of early pool for any kind of early roaches coming out from him, unlike some other players that have tried to make that happen here on Stargazers.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, for special, rather confidently, it looks like he's skipped out on that SEV scout. So he's just going to be sending this Reaper straight across the map here. Actually going for a second Reaper as well. So something a little bit unorthodox here.
Yeah, we don't see this too often at all, but it looks like Special wants to be a little bit more aggressive here across the map, as he is going to be able to get into the main base with his first Reaper, and we'll see if he can get a drone for his troubles.
Yeah, going to be getting there quite quickly. That Queen is still a little way off. Nice block there on the gas, but Silky with quick reactions as well. He's going to be able to save one of those drones, but one of those drones going down as well. And for the first Reaper, that's some very nice damage.
Yeah, one drone going down is more than what really should be happening here, especially in the main base. Meanwhile, Silky actually a little bit supply blocked as a result.
Yeah, he got really distracted by that, and that Overlord, that is so late. He's going to be supply blocked for quite a while here.
The Queen is off of creep as well, so it won't be able to keep up here with these Reapers as they get into the main base, trying to focus on whatever they can. Another Ling is going to fall. Juanito has to be a little bit careful here with this Reaper. Does get weakened up here, but does get another Ling.
Yeah, we see Special flexing that micro here, getting a lot of damage. Meanwhile, another Hellion jumping straight into the main here, into this mineral line. And with how few Lings Silky's been able to make, this is going to wreak havoc now.
Yeah, exactly. More Lings are going down, forces a couple of spores out as well. Reapers come back into the main base, and Silky is just being pulled apart.
Mate, they did not give him enough in that microstat, and he took that personally. He is popping off here, taking down a lot of these drones, putting so much pressure on Silky here.
Yeah, exactly. That was able to pay off again. Even that supply block alone would have been worth it here for Special. So just getting into the mind, getting into the head of Silky at the same time. We do have a 1-1-1 follow-up. We do already have that first medevac on the way.
Yeah, this is a very unusual opening, going for that fast medevac, actually going for a Cyclone drop. Bit of an old school build that we're seeing here.
Yeah, this is what we mean when we talk about how Special should be having a little bit more strategy. Oh my god, why not? Why not open up with a medevac drop into a BC?
Yeah, I love this. Using this Cyclone drop, he's going to be able to get a lot of map control, going to be able to clear out these Overlords, clear out this Watchtower as well. Very safe with that natural tucked away behind as well. Doesn't have to get any extra wall up or anything like that. So just playing the map beautifully here.
Yeah, and now he can just continue to apply that pressure, by the way. So far, okay, one Marine does go down, so Silky is able to get a full surround on this for the time being. Behind this, he's going straight into his lair. A couple more gases are being taken as well. Only 3 gases for the time being, but we'll see if he takes a 4th. We'll see if he tries to go into a Spire from here.
Yeah, absolutely. But for Special, he really doesn't mind just trading out with the army of Silky, just keeping him distracted, keeping him on his side of the map so that he doesn't know what's coming next. And what's coming next is that battle cruiser. Even taking out an extra Overlord here. Special just being such a nuisance with his units here.
Exactly. What is this? The 3rd, the 4th Overlord going down. And because of all these dead Overlords, Silky has been forced to bring them back, and he just hasn't been able to get a scout off in the main base. He doesn't know what the follow-up is.
Yeah, he has no idea. Meanwhile, we see those extra gases going down. We see that 3rd CC going down. With those gases coming down so early, I hate to say it to you, Mech, but lie to bet. I think we might be seeing Mech.
I hate to see Mech as well, mate. I'm right there with you, Ashers. Oh my god, that medevac gets so low, but barely manages to escape at the same time. Here comes a Hellion run by. Do we have enough Lings to keep up with this? Because Silky has just been droning.
This multitask out of Special has been something to behold. He has been all over Silky from the very first Reaper and just been absolutely relentless here. And he's keeping him so busy while this BC is just finishing up now. Oh
my god, does he even need the BC? Because the drop comes back into the main base as well. More drones being targeted down. The medevac somehow survives on 6 HP. And that BC, it's here.
Yeah, here is that BC. These Queens already wounded, already using up a lot of their energy here for those transfusers. Special going to be going after that higher energy Queen, taking that one down first as well. Wow. Going to be using this very low health Cyclone as well, just getting every last drop out of his units. Yeah, and now with the death of all those Queens, nothing shoots up. The main base is forfeit right now. We don't have a Spire. There are those additional factories that you were talking about. It is going to be a mech transition from this BC, and this BC, it's out of control. Wow, Special doing so much damage, getting so much out of his units here, putting on the most insane amount of pressure on Silky. We can see his powerful strategies here, but meanwhile Silky just sending a few roaches across the map, and this is just going to keep the BCs of Special busy. He's going to have to either send one home or wait for that second BC just to help deal with this. Yeah, he's going to have to wait a little bit for that. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have mules to repair the BC, so it's not going to be turning around. It's not going to be going back home. Hellions are going to try and hold the line here against the roaches. Roaches are going to deal a surprising amount of damage here. Hellions are not ideal whatsoever, so there is a chance here for Silky. Yeah, Silky getting on top of these Hellions, will be taking those down, will be taking a few of these SCVs down as well as we finally see that battlecruiser popping. So that puts a timer on these Roaches. They're just going to have to go straight for the SCVs.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? At least they are dealing some counter damage. There we go. The Mule's just going ham. The BC completely topped up. The Roaches, I mean, they've gotten 13 SCVs. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is some great damage here. But can he deal with the BCs?
Yeah, Special realizing just how much of the anti-air that he's taken out at this point is just going to be going for this lair. And with those mules here to repair that BC, there's nothing Silky can do to stop that.
There's nothing he can do, mate. One more queen pops out here, but the lair is going to go down. Thankfully, Silky did throw down a Spire before this happened, so he does have the availability to go into Corruptors, and then we go for Corruptors are on the way, but it doesn't even matter. I love it, especially even targeting down drones, because he knows that this base is already dead.
Yeah, this is completely forfeit. As you said, the Spire already gone down, so it doesn't matter too much. Special really taking his time here, being a little bit cheeky there. Does finally take that base down, and here is that second BC.
Yeah, here's the second BC. At the same time, we have a bit of a Ling run by across the map. Once again, going to be dealing some damage, but we have a medevac. The boys are being pulled. We have Hellions. We have Cyclones. The Ling run by doesn't do much of anything. And Yamato is completed. GG gets called. Special taking a very powerful game number 1.
Yeah, beautiful game, beautiful strategy coming out from Special, as we referred to, and that does mean that this is confirmed a win for PSISTORM. They are getting the win in this matchup against the SSLT, the Starving Camels, but there is still one more map to play, and every map does matter for the Starving Camels.
Oh, every map does indeed matter, and oh boy, we'll see if he can somehow bring it back. The map of choice, very quick here, he does select Waterfall.
Yeah, very interesting here coming out from Silky, going for a bit of a smaller map. I do like that though. Does realize that Special's a player that likes to go for mech, likes to go for these cheeky technical openings with lots of different parts of harassment to them. And Waterfall doesn't give you much room for error. If any of these little bits of harassment goes wrong and you don't have enough back at home to defend, you can be overwhelmed very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like Silky is going to be able to take all of that into account, is not going to allow Special to get away with this kind of tech, with this kind of build, and at least his counterattack potential is going to be that much stronger here for Silky. So very smart choice in the end, but will it be enough? Because Special isn't a kind of one-note kind of player, you know? He doesn't just have one crazy build. He's got many.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm giving him a 9 in strategy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100%.
We should do our own hexagons, you know?
We should have our own duckling hexagons, mate. True, Papi, true. He should have a 9 in strategy. His mindset, I can maybe agree with this mindset, maybe. I still think that the micro should be a little bit high. I mean, mate, did you see last game? Did you see his control on his Reapers, on his Cyclones, on literally every unit?
All right, so we're going to put the micro control up a little bit. We're going to get rid of defense because we don't care about that. We're going to replace that with gym weight amount strength. Special, he loves his gym. He loves his bench press. He loves his deadlifts. He's a powerful man. But meanwhile, another powerful man down on the bottom left, awaiting his. It is the Starving Camels, Silky.
In the top right-hand corner on Waterfall, representing PSISTORM Gaming, it is Special from Mexico.
Let's go.
Let's go, Papi. Special, with a very special build there in that first game with a very special control. But what does he have us in game number 2? I don't expect to see him do the same thing twice. He doesn't need to, mate. He's crazy, Papi. He can do it all.
He's crazy. Meanwhile, for Silky, we are seeing him just going for that hatch first opening. So not going to be using the shortness of the map to go for any very quick pull first openings. He's going to be playing things a little bit standard, but wow, Special going for something very unusual in this matchup. Actually opening it up with a 2-gas.
Oh my god, 2 gases are on the way here. So Special going to have so much of that to make use for his tech. And this is what I was talking about, mate. He's crazy. He's crazy, Papi. He's crazy.
Yeah, this is extremely unusual in this matchup. There's a few different things you can do with this. You can actually go for a Reaper Hellion build if you want. It's a little bit odd, but considering how well the Reaper Hellion control went for Special in that first game, I can see why he might want to do that. There's also the possibility to go for an extremely fast BC off one base, or even a Hellbat opening.
Yeah, Hellbat opening could be ideal as well. Here we go, Factory is thrown down next. Of course, for those wondering, because of the double gas, this is going to delay the CC. It is going to keep Special on one base a little bit longer here. And Silky, is he going to get eyes on this as the Overlord does go across the map and does head in towards that natural?
Yeah, to be honest, even if he does get eyes on this, this is not something that you see often enough that you can be really sure what exactly this is. There's a lot of signals that you can get from the Terran's initial builds as to what it can be, but for something like this, there's really not too much precedence.
Exactly. It could be anything. Can Silky piece it together as the first Reaper gets across the map? And already one drone is going to go down.
Yeah, once again, Special getting the first drone with that Reaper, showing his skills with the unit. We are seeing that Hellion being started up, that reactor, as well as the delayed CC. So it does look like it's going to be a Reaper Hellion opening here.
I like to think that he's doing, like, he's hyper-focused on this Reaper control just so that that WTL just give him a couple more points in micro.
He's like, look at me go.
Yeah, look at him go, puppy, as he goes back into the main base. And this is so important because Silky is going for a very fast lair.
Yeah, this is an extremely fast layer. Looks like maybe going for a 2-base Muta or 2-base Nidus kind of build. This is going to be scattered straight away by Special. Meanwhile, for Special, I'm wondering if he is actually going for the fastest possible BC here.
Yeah, it's quite possible. I mean, we have the 1-1-1 from Special. The starport is about to finish up here, and a fusion core wouldn't be too shabby whatsoever because it's so fast as well. Even if there was an early push, it may even come out in time, as Special actually throws down a second Rax.
Yeah, I have never seen something like this. So this build actually very similar to what he went for in the last game in terms of going for that Cyclone drop, but everything is so accelerated by that double gas opener.
Yeah, exactly. Very interesting here. And I mean, he can always follow up from this drop into a much faster BC, as you were talking about here. For the time being, we do see finally Special's units going to be cleaned up across the map, but they got so much value for them. And again, got so much scouting information confirming that Silky was on 2 bases.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing that bunker being thrown down right away just for a little bit of extra safety. It does look like, in fact, Silky is going to be going for 2-base Muta. This is a build that has really gone out of fashion quite a lot, but something quite interesting, sorry, for the small map.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. It is very unexpected and very unorthodox, but because of Special's hyper-aggressive style, I don't know if the Mutas are going to come out in time to protect Silky's mineral line, to just protect Silky, period.
Yeah, this is something where you do have very few units to be able to deal with the aggression, at least until those mutas come out. Meanwhile, we do actually see a Dropper Lord is being made, so I'm not sure what he has planned with that, or if that's on the other side of the map, maybe waiting to pick up a few Lings, though.
Yeah, we do have the Dropper Lord. There we go. Lings are moving out across the map, but at the same time, they're going to be needed at home because the Cyclone is here. Silky has only been droning. He's going to be relying on his Queens to defend, but maybe, hopefully, forcing Special to turn around.
Yeah, nice denial of the third there as well. So Silky really going to be pretty all in on these mutas getting some damage, or the Ling drop getting some damage.
Yeah, but this gets spotted. The reinforcements are Special going to be able to turn around and clean this up. We do have a nice round on some of these Marines, but there are enough reinforcements here. There is enough production to clean up the drop.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, we see this Liberator coming in. He's going to be supported by the drop as well. So if he can take out these Queens, that Liberator is going to reign supreme here.
There we go. One Queen already goes down. We only have one remaining, and the drop micro is just too good here. Does get a lock on. Not quite on the Queen, so it looks like, oh my god, but the target fire, the Cyclone goes down.
Yeah, the Cyclone going down there. He's just doing everything that he can to try to take out this Queen, and that Queen will go down.
Wow, and this is going to deny mining here at the natural base. Thankfully for Silky, the mutas are finally out. They will be able to clean up this drop and this Liberator. But what about that stim push?
Yeah, and actually taking down one of the lava that's making a muta, that is a huge deal because this is such a tempo-based play coming out from Silky. Every muta is really important here for the potential of this attack.
Yeah, exactly. Every muta is valuable right now. Ooh, it looks like he's going to be able to catch a medevac here in the middle of the map. So nice pickup here by Silky. Never mind, the medevac is okay. It should be going down. At the same time, here come the reinforcements. Special now with Stim.
Yeah, Special all the way out on the map, trying to deny a little bit of airspace for these mutas. And if he can push straight across the map, those mutas are going to have to be brought home. This is one of the ways that you can react to 2-base muta, just going for a very aggressive all-in to stop those mutas from starting to snowball.
Yeah, again, because so much gas is being invested in these mutas, there are no banelings. There is no baneling speed. There's nothing here on the ground whatsoever. Only the mutas. Meanwhile, here is that Stim. Where my shot goes off!
Yeah, good Widow Mine, and every meter that goes down here really does matter for Silky. It's so important for him that he starts to snowball this meter count, and he is going to be able to clean up these Marines, but not without losing a lot of the meters.
Yeah, the target fire is insane. 3 more mutas do go down here. Only 4 mutas remaining. And again, these are just such expensive losses here for Silky. On top of that, bearing in mind that Silky isn't on 3 base economy, he's still struggling to get his third up and running.
Yeah, this third base, it's not even finished here at the 7-minute mark. Meanwhile, for Special, he does have that third morphing into an orbital now. He's getting those turrets up, getting that bunker in place as well, and just going to be powering up on 2 bases.
Yeah, exactly. This 2-base push is going to be so much more powerful here. Silky struggling to rebuild his drone count because he lost so many early on to that early aggression, and still just relying on his muta control here to try and keep him alive.
Yeah, so meanwhile, this muta count, it has been bruised, it has been battered quite significantly, but there still are quite a few here. They can start to put a bit of pressure on this third base as well. Just going to be pushed back a little bit by these Marines. It's going to be important for Special to escort this third base over.
Oh god, exactly. It looks like at least the third base is going to be delayed for the time being here. Silky is being quite active with his mutas, but that means his mutas are not at home. Silky has been attempting to drone, and these Marines, they just stim, and they win.
Yeah, Special getting right in there, realizing with the mutas at home that the base is completely undefended. So many Lings going down here, and I think these Marines can actually win this fight against the mutas.
It looks like with the boys being pulled barely, Silky's going to be able to hold on, but he lost so much in this defense. Lost so many mutas. He lost 14 drones that he cannot afford to lose. And now if he wasn't all in before, he is all in now. He has to make something happen with this counterattack and hopefully not run into these mines.
Yeah, nice little bit of baiting there, but Silky, he realizes that he's just going to be overwhelmed here. Special taking things down. And...
Oh, the fly spray! I don't get it. So he didn't beat Firefly. I don't get
Firefly. It's just like, screw it, I'm going for it anyway.
I just need to clean my cam.
Special taking things down 2-0. So Firefly actually getting the only win there for SSLT, and PSISTORM showing that they are real contenders in this competition.
Oh yeah, exactly. PSISTORM with a very strong showing here. We do want to give a little bit of a shout out to Firefly though, because again, he did cause the upset, taking a game off of GuMiho, and again, Firefly didn't look bad in either one of his games, even the one that he lost, so I hope that he at least isn't feeling too bad about that result.
Yeah, 100%. Very nice performance coming out from Firefly, but for PSISTORM, not even using their ace player max packs and doing so well here. They're going to be ones to watch out for in this team league.
Oh, they really are. I mean, again, they didn't even show their final form here with max packs. Will they ever? We have yet to see. As with that does wrap up PSISTORM Gaming versus SSLT. A very, again, powerful showing from PSISTORM. But we're not done yet. We're only halfway through the night.
Yeah, that's right. We have the CranKy Ducklings themselves coming up soon.
Oh, exactly. So, we're gonna give us a little bit of a moment here to get some water, to stretch as well, and hopefully get a little bit more Panadol in our bodies. Maybe faff around a little bit, if we will. And hope you enjoy the lovely cat ads.
That's it. Don't faff too hard though.